Aloha and welcome to another freaking Aloha Friday trip, man. I am excited to be back in Maui, recording and dropping with, some knowledge bombs with my boy.
Absolutely.
JSC.
That's
Jackson
me.
Simmons Campbell.
Those are my initials. So you're back on Maui. Where have you been?
Man.
Let everybody know. Where have you been? You've been gone. You've been off island for 12 days, was it? 11 days?
If you're watching on YouTube, if I'm looking a little pasty, it's because our editor forgot to put the tan filter in, which I'm angry about, okay? So, Lance, please pick it up, okay? But, dude, I've been, but, man, it's so grateful, too, I did events in, Miami, Fort Lauderdale area, Orlando, went up, to Orlando, did an awesome event, and, we're expanding and branching out and, building an office out there in Orlando. So I got to hang out with Ryan for a couple of days and go tour some office spaces, and that was very fun. And then we headed over to Tampa, and, man, that was a magical event.
It was a really special event. Why was it so special?
My mom was there.
Yeah,
my sister.
Yeah.
And
it's the first time they had ever seen you speak.
Yeah, ever. And it was, it was magical. And what's interesting is we have a film crew that we work with out there. Alex and Andrew, if y'all are listening to this.
Shout out.
Man, y'all are amazing. Seriously, just the best of the best. Not just at what they do professionally with, camera work, but dude, just people. They're great people, man. They're ass kickers.
Couldn't agree more.
And just, yeah. But what's crazy is we had already had them. They were scheduled to come out.
Yeah.
And then my mom was going to come out. That was not planned. And I'm so glad that they were there to capture. That was a special moment for me. And I'm gonna, before we dive into whatever topic we're gonna talk about, I'll tell you, their flight got canceled. I'll tell you this moment of gratitude that I had, okay? Because their flight got canceled. My mom and Tiffany, my sister, and I'm talking to them. They're just bummed, And I'm talking to. I called Britt afterwards. I'm like, man, it's a bummer, man. My mom and Tiffany, their flights got canceled, and they're not going to be able to make it out. And God, man, I'm wondering if I should just buy them a ticket, like just buy their ticket. And Brittany says, "Oh yeah, that is a bummer, but man, do whatever you think. I know that you got video recorders out there, and I know that but do whatever you think. But there'll always be other events." And for some reason, when she said that was when I was like, "Well, no, there's not. Like I could die tomorrow." And all of a sudden, it brought my what's what I'm looking for?
Perspective into focus, dude.
Yes.
To right there, to that moment, to what was going on.
Dude, to be in a position to just jump on, and they weren't cheap because it was last minute,
Yeah.
And we're also able to upgrade them to first, and so I bought them a first class ticket.
Yeah.
And to be able to do that, I'm just telling you this moment of gratitude. It's the small little things for me like that.
Yeah.
That those things are what bring the ultimate gratitude. Because I believe that money is a tool, and it's our job to use it for the betterment of our lives, certainly, but the lives of those around us, especially, man, the life of my mom. Come on. So,
you grow up thinking about those moments.
Yeah.
Of how
it was very special.
When's it going to be my turn to take care of mom?
That's it. Yeah.
And you had the opportunity to do that, so that is special.
Just
dude.
provide some value,
awesome.
Dude. So it was a special weekend for me, though. So that's where I've been, man.
Yeah,
so,
dude. No, thanks for sharing that, dude. And I was lucky enough to be able to watch that event. I was able to go out with you to Tampa and be a part of that and help the team out there. And it was a special event. Shout out to everybody at that event too.
Yeah.
Man, they came with such love and such positivity, and it was a really special weekend, and a weekend that I won't forget, dude, for a long time, probably ever. It was an awesome weekend. So shout out to everybody that was there. We had some people come up from Orlando that were at your Orlando workshop that wanted to see you again, that were there. Shout out to those guys. Really special group, and it really, for me, really inspired me and motivated me to do better.
Yeah.
For everybody that's there, and you know what I mean, for all of the people that work those events and help us put on those events, it just be better. So no, it was a powerful weekend. I think all around for all of us, for sure.
It was.
For sure.
Very grateful.
Awesome, dude. So today, I wanted to talk about consistency.
Okay.
Right. You said something that made me think, which was along the lines of personal preference will lead to personal poverty. Right? You said personal preference will lead to personal poverty. What do you mean by that? And I want to talk about that. I'm assuming it has to do with consistency. So it's it's going to be about consistency, but I want to lead with that question.
I
What
would
did
even
you
say
mean there?
complacency, and here's why. But sure, consistency. But like that statement, I believe that statement depends on how clear our preferences are. Average people. I just believe that they make they live their life and they make their decisions based on preference. And what I mean by that, it's what makes them or their pride feel good in the short term. We have these great long-term goals, but we have these horrible short-term execution. And it's because we are making decisions in the short term that look to be our preference, but in reality, successful people's only preference is prosperity. It's growth. And so I think that comes down to complacency. So, but I'll give you this example. I'm being very aware of what your preference is, right?
Yeah.
So Phil Jackson, you ready for this?
Love him.
I mean, come on. Phil Jackson.
How do you not?
Love him.
Yeah.
He's a straight up just hippie.
Zen Master. Zen Master. That was his nickname. That was his nickname. That was his nickname as a coach, is Zen Master, because he was so calm all of the time.
Yeah. Stud.
So absolutely.
Learning more about him, I loved it.
Yeah.
One of the greatest coaches in the history of basketball, right? But he got ran out of town and fired because one of his players didn't prefer to be coached. Their preference was not to be coached. And in fact, that player he just freaking hated the fact that people, especially Phil Jackson, thought that he needed to be coached. But then what happens? They run him out of town. They have a couple subpar seasons, and that player realized that his only preference was prosperity, was to win. And so he jumps on the phone, begs, Phil Jackson to come back, because he knows that in order to really prosper, he needed to be coached. And so Phil Jackson and Kobe Bryant, who was that player, that player that once hated him, they went on to win 2 more championships after that. Because once again, Kobe Bryant is somebody who is very aware of what his preference is, which is prosperity. That's his only preference. So even though he would like to do his own thing, whatever, he's able to set that aside to focus on really what he wants. He wants to win. And so what is it going to take to win? Let's do that.
Even if it's the hard thing. Even if it's not what he necessarily wanted to do.
Yep.
So how does that apply to us? How does that apply to somebody trying to grow? Or tackle a new business, or do whatever it is. How does that apply to us?
Well, dude, it's our natural preference. What's our What's our national preference? Natural preference. It's to be comfort and complacency, and not because we're lazy, but because, dude, we're freaking human. That's literally how our brains are wired. They're wired for comfort. Like preservation, energy preservation.
Safety.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's how our brains are wired. So comfort and complacency are the slow road to failure, though, right? So, dude, the definition of complacency, I won't be able to. I was reaching for my phone. I'm like, I don't know where my phone is. Shit. I have an iPad, but that takes too long, I feel like. I don't know why. That seems silly, but it just does. But the definition of complacency is like this feeling of security, but while being unaware of potential danger, something along those lines, right? Yeah. Well, that's obviously dangerous, and I'll give you this example. So, I love football, and dude, are you cold right now?
I'm a little bit chilly right now. I'm not gonna lie. I've just got my arms folded, dude. Don't call me out, bro. I'm just a little bit chilly. Listening.
You look like all the people in my classes when I freaking freeze it out. They're just like this.
Shivering.
Please warm it up. It's funny because
I'm not cold, dude. I'm fine, bro.
Friday, most of the time Friday I'll wear a suit, but then I got to get out of that freaking itchy suit. And so, Saturday, Sunday, whatever, when I'm teaching these classes, I wear what I usually wear, which are these bitchin' polos. That's all I wear.
Shout out Sunday Swagger.
Shout out to Sunday Swagger. And then I'm like, holy shit, it's freezing in here, man. Was it freezing like this yesterday? And I was like, yeah, and I'm like, let's turn this shit up, man. I got chills. Anyway, okay, so it's my senior year, okay, and of football. And, dude, I was pretty decent at football. Like, started when I was, started playing varsity when I was a freshman. Started, like, I played as a freshman, but then I started as a sophomore. And, dude, I was very good, Football was my sport. But then all of a sudden I started getting content. Why? Because I've been being chased. Really, my whole I've always been decent at it, man. Like it was what I did. So I had this feeling like I was ahead, and what ultimately happened was me losing my spot. That complacency led to me losing my spot. And here's what's funny, though. Not funny. But here's what I literally do not believe that I recognized this until my late 20s, because I blamed everyone but myself. Dude, I blamed the coach. I blamed politics. Oh, there's politics within. The coach likes this person's. I blamed that kid who beat me out had a dad who was friends with the coach, and my dad wasn't in the country. So that, literally, dude, I blamed anything that I could. But no matter what I blamed, it didn't matter. I did not start my last game of my senior year. My last game.
That's tough.
Bro.
Why do you, that's tough. Why do you think it is that when things like that happen, when problems arise that maybe we didn't expect or think or were deserving of?
Yeah.
Why do people naturally try to put the blame on others and make?
I love that question.
Does that make sense? Why are we constantly trying to find
take ownership?
Why are we not taking ownership? Yeah.
Dude, here's my opinion. It's because if the change, if it's me, if I was the problem, if it's on me, well, then I have to change. And change is uncomfortable. That's going to be uncomfortable. I have to address that issue. I have to acknowledge that issue, and I have to change. And that's uncomfortable, right? It takes action. But if we place blame elsewhere, well, fuck, it's not me. It's somebody else.
It's not my fault.
No change is needed. Change is needed. You know who needs to change? Those mother effers.
Yeah, my coach, my dad for not being here, whatever it is.
Exactly, dude.
Yeah.
So, it's because it's easier, man. It's more comfortable to blame it on somebody else. Dude, blame is so easy. It's so easy, man. But taking ownership, that requires action. That requires, the opposite of complacency. And I was complacent in football because people had been, like I mentioned, they'd just been chasing me from the beginning. And I let them catch up to me, And so once again, I blame my coach because that was a lot easier for me to stomach, man, than me truly looking in the mirror and being like, man, you messed that up, dude. You didn't keep your urgency. I was so urgent. Like, I compare it when I was a freshman or a sophomore. It's like, dude, I'm in the gym every day. I'm working as hard as I can. I'm running all the drills. I'm doing everything. And then I get that spot, and it's like, well, of course I got that spot. Because, it's who I am, man.
Right.
So, dude, anybody behind me? Yeah, your time will come when I'm out the door.
Yeah.
Because I'm TD. My initials are TD. You ain't going to come in and take my running back spot. My initials are TD, bro. Come the God, So how does it apply to us? Dude, people don't choose to fail, man. Nobody chooses to fail, right? But what happens is they make poor decisions that slowly assemble into failure. You go study anybody, any person, any company that has failed. Dude, study somebody that's failed in the multifamily business as an example. Any business or anything, though.
Yeah.
And go retrace their steps to failure. And you'll see that most of the time it happens slowly and systematically and, methodically under a diet of poor choices. I just got done reading Atomic Habits and rereading. I've read that book before and I love that book, And you know what? It's our habits that ultimately lead to, our futures, but we have to choose those habits. We have to be very systematic and very cognizant and aware of where we slip up and where we fall. Because, dude, complacency, especially complacency in the long term, that's a choice. That's a choice.
Yeah. Can I add something there?
Yes.
You talked about people who have failed over time. It's usually small choices that have led to the big failure.
Yes.
And we just talked about blaming others. We just talked about blaming others for whatever situation it is. I've just kind of to go along with what you're saying is oftentimes when people fail, it's probably because the little problems they blamed on others and didn't take ownership of them.
Yes.
Right? So just another kind of perspective of the little things lead to the big thing. It's blaming the little things on others when you should have probably taken ownership of it as well. That definitely plays along with the failure side of it.
Totally, bro. Or just ignoring the small things. Mm-hmm. I pride myself in wanting to be not letting those small things go. And it's funny because I was just listening to, I think it was one of my coaching calls that I honestly can't even remember, dude. But I think it was one of my coaching calls that I was on where he was talking about how he was asking the person that was interviewing him or who worked in his office. And he was saying, what's the craziest thing you've seen me do? And he's like, I walked in the bathroom one time and you were cleaning the freaking bathroom. And he's like, yeah, you want to know why? Because I noticed that there's pee on the toilet. And if I let that slide, well, that might not directly impact my income and my, everything, but it will indirectly. Because if I let one thing slide, I'm going to let other things slide. So I look at it as like my morning routine, man. Wow. When I let one thing slide in my morning routine, I'm going to let multiple things slide through my day, which will absolutely impact my prosperity, my quality of life and everything. And so I want to be that person that doesn't let those things slide. And that's how I want to identify. That doesn't mean that I don't do it from time to time. Once again, complacency in the short term, we all have that.
Yeah,
man.
Yeah.
But once again, one of our favorite principles that Dallas talks about,
error in thinking.
Catching yourself in error in thinking, because then you can fix it,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So one of my favorite Pat Riley quotes.
Another Laker great.
Did he coach the Lakers?
Yeah, dude. He coached Magic, and then he was down.
The Heat.
No, he coached Magic at the Lakers, and then he was.
I don't know if I even knew that.
Yeah, dude. Pat Riley. We're just talking about Laker goats here.
Gosh,
that's all we're
damn
doing.
it, dude! I knew this would be up here. No. Pat Riley, his quote, he says, "Complacency is that last hurdle standing between any team and its potential greatness, or any person and their potential greatness." Right. So once again, complacency. We have to remove it.
Yeah. So we have to take ownership.
Yep.
And we have to stay hungry. But it's almost like people start to slip when things get going good.
Sure.
Right? When they're doing things the right way and things are like the dominoes are falling in the direction that they want them to. That's when complacency starts to happen as well. Is that right? Is that what you see?
I definitely.
Why do you think that is?
Because of what you just said, complacency makes you think things are going great, right? But I also believe that's the death of a company. Mm-hmm. That will be the death of your career. Mm-hmm. That'll be the death of your marriage. Like
anything. One of the things that I learned, sidebar here. One of the things that I learned growing up in church is your spirit.
Well, hold on. You went to church?
I grew up going to church. I'm a spiritual guy.
I know. Okay, well, you know what? Now it's going to remove some credibility because I don't know if I believe it. I'm kidding. You're very spiritual. I'm kidding. Sorry, keep going.
No, so I'm a spiritual guy, and one of the things that I noticed and that I notice is that when I'm not feeding my spirituality, dude, that dwindles so fast to nothingness. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we're talking about all these other things, your work, your morning routine, whatever it is, dude, anything that you're trying to achieve in life, that you're trying to become better at, the minute you start slipping and thinking you're good is the minute it starts dwindling away to nothing.
So I want you to think about that. That's so powerful, bro, what you just said, okay? Because I always try to look at, I really try to look at this ammunition that the adversary has, the devil, right? And I believe, and one of the things I speak of regularly, I say I believe that God's greatest gifts is the ability to choose, and the devil's greatest tools are distraction, doubt, fear. Why? Because they stop us from making a choice. Mm-hmm. Well, you add another one on there. Well, it's distraction. Actually, it probably falls in the line of distraction. Now that I say this, is sometimes, we look at this devil as, the devil is telling you that, or you're taking you down this path. But you know what what the devil also will do is build you up. Hey, no, you're fine, man. Oh, but shit. You don't need to do that because, you're Jackson Simmons Campbell.
One of my favorite quotes. One of my favorite quotes is, the devil doesn't make good men do bad things. He makes good men stop.
I like it, dude. That's a great quote. Who's
Gordon B. Hinckley.
Hey, that's a great quote, bro. That's a great quote.
Yeah.
So that is, that is. It's just we have to maintain this level of confidence, but we also have to maintain this level of hunger. And
definitely.
Confidence and humility, we know people who are too humble, who they don't ever get anything down. We know people who are too confident, and guess what happens? Well, they slip, they fall, they can't get back up. Who sings it? DMX, R.I.P. DMX. I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up.
Yeah,
I'm slipping, I'm falling. I got to get up. Man.
So,
hey, real quick, though.
Yeah.
Freaking love DMX, bro.
Really though.
Yes.
His music there's a lot of really good mindset stuff in DMX's songs, and for sure.
Well, now I have to go search for it.
No, there is for sure. What you're just talking about right now, I'm slipping, I'm falling, I can't get up. That song, isn't that song
I got to get up?
Yeah. Figuring out how to get out of a dark place.
That's it, dude. So we have to be confidently humble, right? We have to, because here's what happens. If you're too confident, then you stop learning because you're good, And so the learning never stops, man. But you slip 1%, that'll turn into 5%, and then it's freaking poof, you're gone, you're done, you're out.
Right.
Yep.
So Ty, let's say that happens, right?
Yeah.
Your consistency slips, and you start falling into complacency, and people start to surpass you.
Yeah.
What do you do then? How would you get out of that trap?
Bring it full perspective, because people are going to pass you even if you're not complacent. Like,
I think that's a huge thing to point out.
Yes.
Is perspective here for sure.
Yep.
People are going to pass you whether you're slipping or not. It's bound to happen.
Can I tell you a growth and abundant mindset versus a scarcity?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what I used to do. I used to look at the success of others, and I'd be like, I'd find ways to discredit it. Mm-hmm. Where I would think that they have, like, discredit it, meaning, they have different connections, they have different opportunities. They're obviously they're in that position not because of what they did, but because of a different opportunity.
They know something or somebody.
Yeah. Well, it's not a competition. We're not in a race. We're not in a competition with anybody else. When other people succeed, our competitors succeed, I literally make it. I make it a conscious effort. I'm dead serious to celebrate that. Not try to find ways to discredit it. Why? Because I caught myself in error in thinking. And the minute that I really did that, and this is when I started studying mindset, this is when I started studying abundance, that's when I started to attract way more. If we want more, then we have to celebrate success of others, man, not discredit it. We have to celebrate it. Our focus can't be on other people, man. That's comparison. You don't know the root of every ounce of disappointment or whatever in your life, on sadness, it's because of comparison. Mm-hmm. So our focus cannot be on other people. I want to look for other people to motivate me and inspire me. I don't look at other people as like, hey, they're farther than me. Dude, no, I'm looking at what did they do to get there. So I believe our goal has to be focused more on the process and getting better every single day. When we're making plans, think huge, think big, think bigger, right? That's our tagline, think bigger. It's because more than what we think is possible. But if we're going to make progress, then we have to think small. These daily steps, 1% better every day, that are going to get us to there.
Right.
I don't chase anybody, dude. People chase me. We as a company, we don't chase anybody. People chase us. Like, we're the fucking lead dog.
Yeah.
Whether we're in the lead position or not, we will be. You want to know how I know? Because we're going to take 1% steps every day. Yeah.
Absolutely. One thing that I wanted to add to that is, as you're looking at other people's successes, use that as motivation to what you know is possible. If someone can do something, dude, that only tells you that you can do it too.
Yes.
Not that maybe they did get some opportunities, maybe some other things did come up and the dominoes fell perfect for them. Doesn't mean that they can't fall perfect for you.
Totally.
And even when they don't fall perfect for you, that you can't figure out solutions.
And they didn't fall perfect for anybody, dude. Nobody who gets the huge.
I guess
level
what
of
it
success
seemed to have fall perfect for.
No, I know exactly what you're saying. That's because that's the story we tell ourselves, right? But so I look at Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone has a jet. And the other thing about this travel schedule that I just had over the last little bit, you know how much better that would be with my own personal jet?
I would have really enjoyed that.
But do you know what? The minute that I see, there we go. The minute that I see Grant Cardone get a jet, it's like, oh shit, that's somebody in my same space. Mm-hmm. Who has a jet? That's possible. Holy shit, that's possible. Man, can you imagine what I could do with that? That expands my view of what is possible. It's powerful, man.
Very powerful. Okay, so we're talking about complacency. How do we fight it? How do we stop ourselves from getting there?
First, acknowledge that it's going to be there. Everyone fights it. I fight it. You fight it. Everyone fights it. Mm-hmm. So we have to know that it's going to be there. We have to be very aware of it. If not, then it's going to blindside you. And by blindside you, I don't mean abruptly. I mean it's going to blindside you, and you're going to be months, weeks, years down the road and be like, shit, I've lost what I was working towards. I lost that momentum, the big mo, right?
Yeah.
So just know it's going to be there.
It goes back to that same principle that we just mentioned, error in thinking. It goes right back to that. Catch yourself noticing that you're being complacent.
Totally, dude.
Yeah.
And then find people to fight it together, complacency together. Surround yourself with people that will call you out, man. We need people like that in our circle. We have our peak partnership event coming up. I'll give you this example. I love this. This is why I love Brittany so much, though, dude. P partnerships coming up.
Right.
And yeah, you understand, man. I've wanted to speak on stage. I mean, Ed Milet, Eric Thomas. I'm like, and once again, I've said this multiple times. That's not why you're not going to Peak Partnership to hear me, Ed, Eric, any of us speak. You're going there to meet other people, to grow your business, to find investors, find sponsors, find operators, all those kind of things. But I want you to know, for me individually, I was like, I see these ads come out, right, that show me with Ed and Eric. I'm like, holy jeez, dude, that's humbling. And I was talking to Britt, and I was like, it's really weird for me to see it. Like, so I show her one of the ads, and she's like, oh shit, you're big time. You're big time, Britt says, right? Okay. Yeah. And I'm like, well, it looks like I'm big time. Like, I'm not at Ed or, Eric's level, like, but man. And she's like, well, Tyler, no, you're not at Ed and Eric's level, is what she tells me, right? Really, you would be like, no, yeah, you are. You're in the same video. Right. Britt's going to tell me how it is. Yeah. She's like, Tyler, you're not at Ed and Eric's level. They've been doing it for a lot longer than you are, but you know what you are? You're at this level right now to even be able to rub shoulders and to be able to do that with Ed and Eric. And guess what? You've also created something of massive value with all the people that you've surrounded yourself with to be able to attract an Ed and an Eric to come speak at these events. And I was like,
great point.
You know what? Thank you for just like telling me how it is. You're not there, but you can be. And you know what? Great job on what you've accomplished, but no, you have a long way to go.
Yeah,
God, I love her for it,
No, but it's cool to point that out too, though, is the progress that's been there for sure.
Totally. And then just think bigger, that's our tagline, sure, but man, just continue to think bigger, think differently,
I have an example that I would like to share.
Is it what we talked about yesterday?
Yeah.
Yes,
definitely.
Differently. Okay, share that.
So think differently and think bigger. Right, I think that's something that I've been thinking about a lot lately. Right, I've been pretty open with this. I don't know if I have on the podcast. I know I have within the network about weight loss goals that I have, about health goals that I have. Right, Tyler asked me yesterday. We were kind of talking about it, reviewing some of our goals. Yep, it's a golden nugget. If you don't have an accountability partner to review your goals with you, get one. I'm lucky enough to have Tyler here in the office with me to be able to be my accountability partner. Super grateful for you for that, by the way.
You're welcome, man.
And we were sitting down, kind of reviewing a goal, coming up with some solutions and some other ways that we can attack it. And Tyler asked me, what's the big goal? What's the big goal? What did I say?
You said it's not a weight loss. It's not a number. It's not a target weight. It's not a number. It's not a weight loss.
It's a lifestyle change goal.
A lifestyle change.
Yeah.
And you said, this is what I want to drill in. You said, it's because if it's just a target goal when I get there,
am I going to stop?
Do I stop?
Yeah.
Because maybe more than that is achievable. And really, what do I want? It's not that I just want to lose the weight. It's what I want, this lifestyle that it brings. So I need to make this lifestyle change, this habit change. I freaking love that,
Thanks,
bro.
dude. Thanks, dude. Because obviously I do have a weight loss goal. I do have a number goal that I'm trying to hit every single month
metric,
to give me.
sure.
I do have a metric. I do have that. But the bigger overarching goal is to fix my bad health habits that I've had my entire life. Yeah. You know what I mean? And to look past that number to really what's the big goal, and that's to be healthy and to have a healthy life.
Love that, man.
So I guess what I'm saying here is to fight complacency is make changes to your life. You're not just doing things because you want to achieve something. Yeah. You're doing things because that's the person you want to become.
Yes.
Yeah.
I love it, man. So it's like before we celebrate something, like allow yourself to think bigger, right? Yeah. Think bigger, think differently, and decide what we're committed to achieving, Like when we get to a goal, a lot of the times, I remember moving to Maui was a goal that I'd had for so long that when we moved here, it was like, wow, I made it. Look, I made it.
Yeah.
Is that how that song goes?
I don't know. I don't know what song you're singing.
Well, jeez, Jackson. Me neither. But there's a song that says, look at me, Ma, I made it.
Okay. Sounds like a Kanye song. Is what it sounds
Probably
like.
Kanye, dude. His new documentary.
Shout out.
Awesome. If you haven't watched that on Netflix, it is, dude. It's awesome. So, what are we looking to achieve, And so, like, we get here to Maui, and it's like, yes, we did make it, and we reached this point where we could move here and live and sustain, but then it was like, but what's next, man? But what's next? It's like, set this as the standard of what's, what you're going to achieve, and then set that as the standard for what's acceptable, you know? So once again, your lifestyle, like that's what's acceptable, no matter what, you know, as you're checking off these target points along the way. Ultimately, though, it's that lifestyle that you want to lead, you know? So then be committed to doing everything we can to achieve it. Just never getting complacent. Always, once again, it's never this goal that we just reach there and we're like, we made it. In my opinion, true happiness is continual progression, always progressing, always growing, always achieving. The day that I stop achieving, this day that I stop growing, I'm going to be sad. I never want to get there.
Yeah.
I want to continue to work for that, you know? Just like, because that's fun, man, to check things off. And I'll tell you, as a parent, it's so fun for me to see Pax and Marley learn new things, put time and effort into something and learn. So like, and my being a parent has helped me with my relationship with God. Because I look at, okay, well, if that's what I want for my kids, to continue to push themselves and drive and learn and grow, and just that's what brings me the most joy as a parent, is to see them do those things. Well, then I bet that it's the same. God wants to give us everything, but He can't just give us everything.
Right.
He's going to give us what we deserve. So when we take what we have and we're grateful for it, and we develop and we achieve what we can with what we have, then it's like, great job. Now here's more.
Yeah.
Now here's more. Now here's more, right? And so I just want to achieve and grow, because that shows me that I'm being in line with what I'm supposed to be doing.
That's important. That's heavy. Yeah.
That's heavy.
I love it. Anything else you want to add there to how to fight complacency?
I would say just going back into the smaller actions.
Okay.
You know, like I mentioned, important. The big goal is important. Right? Well, you mentioned it. Like that big goal, that lifestyle goal is important. But these little goals along the way, these little steps along the way, that's these dopamine releases the whole way that really set us apart, man. Like paying attention to the small details, that's what sets us apart. So break down every part of it and improve it. We just had a leadership call just a second ago talking about this. You know, where can we get better with the systems? Where can we get better with the processes? I also believe that this is what sets us apart as a company. We ask for feedback all the time as a company, and we don't just sit on it. We discuss it.
We have somebody that analyzes all that data.
Yes.
Did you know that?
Yes. Okay. Come on, grow up.
No, but with how,
even if I did, I wouldn't admit it.
But that feedback's important to answer.
It's huge, man. Huge. Because, man, we've set an extremely high bar, and I never want to lose that. We're not here to be average, you know? Mm-mm. We're not here to be average. We're here to freaking excel. And that is only going to happen if we strive for excellence and don't get complacent.
I love it. Thank you, Tyler. Super, super great information today. Anything else you want to add?
Yes,
okay.
Hawaiian principle.
Well, yeah, obviously we're going to get there.
Okay.
But is there anything else you want to add in lieu of complacency?
Complacency.
Really, though?
Complacency.
One thing that I want to add, dude, is that everybody falls in the trap of complacency. I think one of my biggest takeaways from us talking about it today is being kind to yourself and catching yourself in that error-ridden thinking and bouncing back. Not the next day, the next opportunity.
Yeah.
Right?
And what's that internal narrative that you have?
Yeah.
Let me give you an example, man. My health, my fitness. Just recently, I'm at the gym and I'm like stretching out. And I'm like getting ready to go, lift. And I'm like, man, I just feel unmotivated. I'm feeling like tired. And I'm just like, this is my internal dialogue. And then what do? I catch myself. I'm like, well, shit, no wonder I feel unmotivated and tired, because look at what's happening inside my internal dialogue. Like, you know who I am? And I start going through who I am, what my identity is, what my intentions are, whatever it is, right? And then what do? You go have a freaking great workout, walk out of there swole as fuck.
So there's a bonus action item.
Okay.
Affirmations.
Yeah.
Positive affirmations of what you are, who you are, what your identity is.
Yeah.
To keep yourself out of those, I'm lazy, I'm not feeling good, I'm tired, right? To continue to tell yourself those positive affirmations.
And sell yourself on it. Dude, I was taking Pax to school yesterday, and I ask the kids every day, they have intentions. They have literally affirmations and intention of what you want, what kind of day do you want to have. So Marley, what does she say? I want to have a helpful day. Well, okay, what does it mean to be that? Well, be helpful to all those around me, and to help my teachers, and to help the kids in my class, and to just be helpful, and to help mom. And I'm like, I love it. And then I asked Pax, and he's like, fun. I'm going to have a fun day. Really? sell me on it some more. You know, I'm like, Paxton, dude, let's say that a different way. If you're going to have a fun day, let's actually say it like you really want to have fun. And, dude, it took us 10 minutes to get it out where he was finally like, I want to have fun, you know? But it's like, until you say it like that and sell yourself on that, shit, it's going to be a shitty day.
I agree.
You can say whatever you want, but you have to say it with meaning. You have to sell yourself on it.
So. Absolutely. All right, an aloha value, Hawaiian principle.
Which, dude, is going to be po'okela. We've talked about this one a whole bunch of times, but it's obviously right in line with this, dude, which is strive for excellence. Po'okela means to strive for excellence, do outstanding things. It literally means best, outstanding, greatest, even champion, right? So strive for excellence. And as you're striving for excellence, are mistakes going to happen?
Yes.
100%. They're going to happen.
They should be happening.
And if they're not, then you're not truly
growing.
Yeah,
exactly.
That's your perspective, right?
Yeah.
So mistakes are great. They're critical to growth. But, man, own the mistakes. Learn from them, and then freaking push the gas pedal down. That's what true accountability and responsibility looks like, you know? Responsibility, that's the price of greatness. So we have to take, that's a Winston Churchill quote, I think. Okay. We have to take this responsibility that we have to achieve what we're wanting to achieve and really define it and be responsible for it. And then make decision in lines with that, achieving it. And the only way to do that is your effort. Effort is the ultimate measure of your success. And the key, who knows if you're putting your full effort into it? Only you.
Think
So, man, internally, if you're not putting your full effort into it, what are you telling yourself internally? That you don't think you can. It's not worth it. You're not. You don't think it's possible.
It's not important enough to you.
Yeah. Yep. That is more detrimental than anything, man. Effort. That is how you measure it.
Awesome. Ty, thank you, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you, bro.
Yeah.
Love it. Great. And all of y'all who have been listening, thank you. And sharing, man. Y'all have been sharing a ton. That's a humbling thing, dude. So we talk about it all the time, but, man, thank you for that. So please share again.
Yeah.
Share some more.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, share, review, whatever, man. Let us know. We'd love to hear it. So, and also, this weekend, every day, every hour, live always with aloha. Peace.